20 people you won't believe that actually exist, except I will believe that they exist because I am the most believing person.
Starting this top, we find someone tall. And it's not a joke since he has been recognized as the tallest man in the world who still remains alive according to the Guinness World Records.
Wait, according to Guinness World Records, they have to verify that he's alive? Like, he can't send in a video like, hey, I am alive and I'm this tall. They're like, well, Guinness didn't verify that you're alive, so you might actually be dead.
He was born in Turkey like any other child with an average size. However, at the age of 10 years old, a tumor in the pituitary gland caused an abnormal growth, which would later be known as a disease called pituitary giant, and he reached 8.28 feet in height.
Jesus Christ, that's over 6, which is over me!
If you were wondering, yes, he was offered a career in basketball.
I mean, it looks like he needs crutches to walk, which is really unfortunate. And also, being that height would be so bad just because it would be impossible to get close.
Although having a delicate physique made this sport impossible.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine it would be easy to do anything if you're that tall because the human body is not supposed to be that big.
Elizabeth Ann Velasquez was born 4 weeks earlier than planned in Texas, United States, where she began to develop her condition known as progeria. A disease that accelerates the aging of newborn babies. She was called by many people as the ugliest woman in the world.
What? That's bullshit. Hey, no, absolutely not. I bet she's an absolute darling. I bet she's an absolute blessing on this earth. The ugliest people are the people that are ugly. This may sound a little bit of a Disney moment right now, but the ugliest people are the ugly people on the inside. What a terrible name and what a terrible thing to attach to someone.
An offense that did not stop her in her fight against bullying, uploading several videos on YouTube, giving motivational speeches, and even writing a book.
Good for her. I'm glad that she is doing well. She deserves it. I bet she's a fantastic... The book is called Dare to Be Kind.
Focusing on the beauty of each person and in the little importance that should be given to those who think otherwise.
Absolutely. Good on her. This is what you like to see. She got through the bullying regardless, and I bet it was bad because kids can be absolutely relentless. I can't imagine what it was like for her.
A great example of overcoming obstacles. Mandy Sellers. This English woman was diagnosed with a rare disease that causes her legs to reach a morbid and extraordinary size, which prevents her from even walking. Her legs were so large that they could weigh 210 pounds, which represents 3 times the rest of her body. In 2010, due to an infection, her left leg had to be amputated. Currently, Mandy is in treatment to shrink her legs, which is apparently working.
Jesus, wait, they're shrinking her legs? Gary.
If you've ever imagined being the rubber man, British Gary Turner is the closest thing to reality because—
Don't make One Piece jokes! Don't make— Chat, I'm watching you, no One Piece jokes!
He suffers from a genetic disorder called EHLERS-DANLOS, a syndrome which allows him to stretch his skin. Despite the fact that his condition generates pain in certain joints, his smile never goes away, and he's even acquired the title of—
Whoa, is that see-through? Dude, his skin went see-through for a second.
The man with the most elastic skin on the planet, managing to stretch the skin of his stomach up to 6.3 inches. His title was granted at the beginning—
Well, at least he's having a good time, you know, he's managed to make the best of it.
2000, and to this date, there hasn't been anyone who surpasses him.
Dude, he has some stretchy skin, man.
Gyoti Amj.
I saw you, chat. Some of you made— I know, some of you made with One Piece. I know you couldn't help yourself.
This little Indian actress is known because she was featured in the American horror story Freak Show series.
Oh, Freak Show, come on. Okay.
However, if we talk about why she is in our top, it's due to her tiny size of 2.06 feet, caused by a genetic disorder. She ended up obtaining the world record in 2011 as the smallest woman in the world, being 2.8 inches smaller than the previous one, a title she holds up until now.
2 feet? You had to put her in a Freak Show? That's so messed up, man.
Kim Goodman. If we talk about people you wouldn't find anywhere and would make anyone's jaw drop, we would have to name this woman who, due to an accident with a hockey mask, now has the ability to pop her eyes out. This skill made her appear in TV shows and even made her worthy of a world record for her strange and amazing ability.
What? An accident with a hockey mask? What did you do? How do you have an accident with a hockey mask? Unless you do that, did it like press into her face and like bulge her eyes out? Oh god.
Valeria Lukiavana.
Whoa.
We have all heard about the most famous doll in the world and the biotype of a woman we have all dreamed of years ago. Well, this Ukrainian model is everything you'd expect when you think about a Barbie. She was called the human Barbie by many, due to her great resemblance to the doll.
What? Wait, which one's the doll?
Despite looking like a completely plastic girl, she says she hasn't had any surgery on her face, and to maintain the slender and unique doll body, she has a special diet in addition to a daily routine at the gym.
I feel like that's achievable, but I also feel maybe she may be telling some fibs about the not getting any kind of procedures thing, because it is sad. A lot of people, a lot of girls, a lot of young girls feel like they have to have that kind of body type. It feels like it is maybe unachievable, but I don't know.
If you've ever seen the X-Men, the group of mutants where their main enemy was a villain capable of attracting metals, well, this Indian man is the closest thing to this. He's known as the Magnet Man, and Raekwar himself states that his body has strong special magnetic signals, mainly on his chest, allowing him to attract various metal objects like spoons. Even though he's not proud of his power, Aaron states that he feels good when people come to see what he does.
Hey, you can charge for that. Listen, you can make a little money on the side for that, to be honest. You know, might as well make the best of it. How does that work? What's the science behind that? Do we have, like, magnetic fields inside of our body? Real Magneto, man.
Ashley Morris. In 2008, the case of an Australian girl who was allergic to water was known. And it's not a joke, since the contact with water creates reactions similar to hives. Even her own sweat causes this type of allergy. The young woman says that showering is a painful experience because when she does, there are red bumps and itching that take about 2 hours to be relieved, so she can only take a short bath. This condition is called AQUAGENIC urticaria.
That's nasty. Being allergic to water of all things, we need that. We need water to survive. That'd be awful. They're like made up of water, but I guess it's on contact with skin, so obviously on the inside, she's not got hives on like her stomach and stuff like that.
Rhett Lamb. When babies are born, they usually spend most of the day sleeping. However, this was not the case of little Rhett. He hasn't been able to sleep since he was born because of a disease, restless leg syndrome, or RLS. If you were ever in a bad mood because of bad sleeping, imagine what the temper of this little boy should have been like. Despite everything, years later, he would undergo surgery that allowed him to complete his sleep. There are more cases, like Arturo Avilaz, who hasn't been able to sleep for almost 40 years.
What? Okay, I imagine that they mean you have restless sleep and you can't get a full night's sleep, not that you can't sleep at all. Because if you don't sleep at all, you're just dead. You can't just like not sleep. I assume that it's mean like very broken up restless sleep that isn't very restful.
The British cyclist Tom Staniford attracted the people's attention when he became known for his strange condition, which doesn't allow him to accumulate any body fat. His strange disease is called MDP syndrome, which ironically also causes Tom's body to act as an overweight person because of his high blood fat levels. For this reason, he has developed type B diabetes. Despite all these problems, Tom does not give up and still dreams of participating in the Paralympic Games to represent his nation.
You can't accumulate body fat. I wonder what that means for like excess calories. The laws of thermodynamics, if you consume more than you expend, then you put on body fat. But if you can't put on body fat, I assume that the body just doesn't process the food correctly and that you just like, you know, it just comes out the other end. But good on him. I hope he's good as well.
A Mexican man surprised the whole world by his excess of hair, and this was the reason why he was nicknamed by news channels as the werewolf.
Ah, come on. That's a little much. I wonder why it's just like on his face and not like on the neck area too.
However, life was not easy for someone with these characteristics, according to Jesus himself. No,
of course, you're gonna get relentlessly shat on if you look different.
One was friendly with him, and
do you know how humans react when someone looks a little different? They're not very good.
He even had to leave school because of bullying. He took refuge in drinking and working for different circuses. There are only 50 known cases in all of history. Despite this,
only 50 in all of known history?
Jesus is not ashamed anymore about his condition. He said, "I'm tired of feeling uncomfortable. I'm the same as everyone, and I have the right to feel happy after leaving alcohol and forming a family."
That's right, exactly! That's so correct. You deserve as much love as any other human. Whoa.
This young woman was born with a strange condition. She has her knees backwards, which prevents her from walking. This is why she became known as the girl with inverted legs. However, this problem did not prevent her from finishing her studies, and due to the media recognition she obtained because of her illness, many organizations were able to finance her multiple operations that had to be done in order to be able to walk, a goal she achieved after 10 surgeries when she was 26 years old.
Let's go! I love a happy ending. So now she can walk? Oh, that's sick. I love a good ending.
This man became known as the Tree Man because of the multiple bark-shaped warts that sprout on different parts of his body. This disease, known as epidermoplasia verruciform, is extremely rare, and only 4 cases have been documented.
That's insane. What is it? It does look like tree bark a little bit, doesn't it?
Despite having performed multiple operations to remove the warts, these have reappeared again, evidencing how little is known of this disease.
That is so strange. Hey, just goes to show that even in the modern age, when we think that we know everything, we really don't. We just don't know what's going on there.
Paul Carrison. The peculiarity of this American is the blue color of his skin, a feature that has made many call him Papa Smurf.
In a loving way, or?
His strange condition is due to the misuse of a medication that caused him intense dermatitis in addition to a reaction that gave him the bright color that he now possesses.
It was just medication that did that?
This woman suffers from a strange condition called persistent sexual arousal disorder.
Okay, yeah, I can already assume, yep, Chat's gonna be very, very mature about this one.
Her to feel sexual arousal from the slightest things. Although this may seem pleasant, the young American says the opposite, as it's even said that she has had up to 160 orgasms in a few hours. This has prevented her from performing the easiest tasks, and she doesn't enjoy a pleasant sexual life with her husband anymore.
Yeah, no, I would imagine not. That would suck. Like, it sounds good for like the first few, and then you're like, okay, I kind of bored of this. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to keep coming. I want to stop coming now, please.
And in this place, we find 2 people, and not necessarily because it's a tie, rather because they are inseparable. It is about 2 Siamese women in a single body, a condition that is due to a malformation in the belly that makes them have 2 spinal columns, 2 sets of lungs, and 2 hearts.
Oh, I've always wondered how this works in terms of moving the body. But does one of them control one arm and the other controls the other? Do they like have joint control over the limbs? I don't know.
However, this has not stopped them from leading a normal life, as both complement each other. They have even dictated classes as primary teachers, showing a great example of overcoming any challenge that life brings.
Let's go! Oh, that's sick. That's wonderful. I'm glad that they're doing well.
Now, this young man is the closest thing to a superhero. His story begins with an accident that involves a large electric discharge. However, this was only the beginning, as he eventually increased the number.
Is he putting his fingers on a live wire?
Number of volts that his body could stand up to 1,000 volts, which were nothing more than a caress to him. It should be noted that this amount of voltage would kill anyone. Currently, Deepak uses his talent to fix electric problems for the people in his town, because with great power comes great responsibility.
I mean, listen, that's great that you've got like a shock resistance of like 1000% now. You've just equipped some kind of, he's got some like passive buff that it lets him have a 1000% shock resistance. I wouldn't risk it, even if you're like 99% sure that you're not gonna die from an electric volt. I still wouldn't do it. If I'm like 99% sure I'm not gonna die if I step out onto the road with my eyes closed, I'm still not gonna step onto the road with my eyes closed.
Daniel is a baseball boy like any other, except that he completely sheds the skin of his face every day because he suffers from NETHERTON syndrome, a disease also known as butterfly skin due to its extreme delicacy. According to his parents, the child has to apply extra virgin olive oil every day and massage his skin for 15 minutes. However, this does not stop him from practicing in his favorite sport, and despite the risks he faces, he doesn't want to leave it.
Hey, good job, mate. You know what?
Samson Burns.
Persevere. Persevere through all that you can.
Samson was a brave teenager who suffered from progeria, a disease that accelerates his aging. This is why some people call him the teenager in the body of an old man. This kid was a sports fan and even became an honorary captain of the New England Patriots football team. For many years, Samson was the public image of this disease. Unfortunately, the young man died at the age of 17, exceeding the average lifespan of those who suffer from this condition. His story was even turned into a documentary by HBO called Life According to Sam.
I'm glad that he had a good life at the end of the day. That's what matters. Subscribe.